Good day. This is Speak On It, a series here at CAN TV that deals with a variety of issues. One of the issues that you've probably figured out by now that stays consistent is the whole effort by the West Side Heron Opioid Task Force that was convened by State Rep Sean Ford. And we will do that because the substance dependency epidemic, particularly in the Austin area, is getting worse. Not because of the lack of effort on the part of the partners in the West Side Heron Opioid Task Force in the state and the Fed and the city. That's not the reason. The reason it's getting worse because the conditions in society are getting worse. The pandemic, the violence. These things create a ripple effect. So you will see that theme in all of these shows until things get better. If things get better, then we don't have to talk about dope. But that haven't happened in my lifetime, so we're going to be talking about dope for a long time. Different types. Some little cocaine, a little meth, a little watermelon. We're going to see some today with, how clever they are. And we're going to see what one of these killings that we always point to our people in the community might have had something to do with an international hook. So we going to do a little something here because we want folks to be clear. It ain't always just because you think you know. And this program, Speak On It, Retro Current Team Who, is an attempt to bring about clarity, bring about awareness. But so much about the talking. Let's look at this piece over in Cabrini the other day. 9-year-old baby got killed by this 39-year-old savage.
A horrific shooting has left a mother with an unbearable loss. Her only child, a 9-year-old boy, caught in gunfire and shot to death just steps from his home. NBC5's Chris Hush begins our team coverage tonight with the grieving mother's message.
My only child, my one and only child.
Jalissa Ford sits on a Cabrini Green sidewalk where just a day ago she kissed her only son goodbye.
Now I'm burying my son. I gotta relive this all over again. He all I had. I don't have nobody. My son is gone.
9-year-old Janari Ricks, an honor roll student at Near North's Ruben Salazar Elementary, loved basketball.
Smart, energetic.
But now, an innocent victim of Chicago's gun violence. Mom says he was playing with a friend when he was shot in the chest Friday night, feet from his home near 900 North Cambridge.
I just got the call that he was laying out here, and I immediately came out here. And I watched everything, every moment. I was there when they was working in the rooms with my baby.
Chicago police say the gunman walked up on several people, including 9-year-old Janari, firing a number of rounds that struck him multiple times. That gunman remains unknown and on the streets.
We believe the victim was an unintended target. We don't know who the intended target was.
Now, another memorial set up in Chicago for a young kid caught in between conflicts that don't discriminate by age. And while bullets don't have names, humans do. Janari Ricks was a 9-year-old boy who never got to finish his own story. Chris Hush, NBC5 News.
Now we will listen to a piece by Gil Scott, a piece that was during the Vietnam War era,
nice way to end
but a piece that fits. And I use it quite a bit in the venues because I want you to feel it. I want you to feel the tears well up, politician. Feel the tears. and you run around and you can't figure out how to get this thing under control.
Did you hear what they said? Did you hear what they said? Did you hear what they said? They said another brother's dead. They said he's dead, but he can't be buried. They said he's dead, but he can't be buried. Come on, come on, come on, come on. This can't be real. Did you hear what they said? Did you hear what they said? Did you hear what they said? They said they shot him in his head. Shot in the head to save his country. A shot in the head to save his country. Hey, come on, come on, come on, come on. This can't be real. Did you hear what they said? Yeah, did you hear what they said? Did you hear what they said about his mother and how she cried? They said she cried 'cause her only son was dead. They said she cried 'cause her only son was dead. Woman, could you imagine if your only son was dead and somebody told you he couldn't be buried? Hey, come on, come on, come on, come on. This can't be real.
But it is. But it is real. Every day. Even since that baby was shot, killed, another 8-year-old been shot in both legs, and his mama is crying. You see? And then we elect people. Got 13,000 police officers in the city of Chicago. And you got administrations that just don't get it. Can't be real? It's real. Very real. But you can't tell me that all of the money you're spending on these police, you need to do something different. I don't say you defund the police to the extent that you don't have any, but you need police from the community where people are dying. Work in those communities and not all of these imports into the community that can't pick it up. Because we are sick and tired of our children and our women and our elders dying. I almost called you out. But I don't want to make it political. And I sure don't want to make it personal. How can it be? Over and over. We done had over a dozen children under the age of 12 killed, probably in less than a month. And you don't hear no urgency from the ones in charge of the city. They just blowing smoke. It's the gun, it's the gun, it's the gun. No, it ain't. It's the lack of consequences for the killers. If you put them in jail and you let them out the next day, they go kill the person that they didn't kill before you put them in jail. Come on, y'all, wake up. Snap out of it. And even now with the pandemic, the song is so real. But it is real. Come on. Politicians, come on. You can do better than this. Anyhow, brother, let's look at this piece. Something that Brother Keith McDonald, one of the producers, has been here at CAN TV for years. He and I discussed the situation. He happened to be at the situation where this 9-year-old boy got killed. He was right there in the area, and we was talking about it. But before then, he had participated in this press conference. Let our kids live. We're going to just play a little bit of this because we're going to talk about, should I say, we're going to hear again how frustrated the community is. And we're going to see some of the politicians, including LaShawn Ford, who are on the front line trying to make it stop. All right, brother, let's look at this.
It's great to see you again. I want to thank Cynthia Williams, president of the Austin People's Action Center, for hosting today's event at her organization and for her great work in the community and with the census. Let me ask her to come forward, and our elected officials who've spoken can leave the stage so that we have chairs for those who are speaking in the next raft. Thank you for joining us. We're very grateful to you. Cynthia, please give her a round of applause.
Now keep that applause going for all our elected officials coming together. We do the electric slide together. How come we can't come together? I say we do the electric slide together, but we need to come together on this. This is not just a moment. This is a movement. This is a pandemic. I ain't talking about the COVID-19. This is a pandemic. Voices of Restoration, how y'all doing? Y'all all right? Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor. Don't look at me. I said, look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Reading the news, listening to the news reports every single weekend. 50 shot, 100 people shot. Are y'all sick and tired? All right, November 3rd, it's time to do what? Vote. Vote. You got elected officials. Some of them just come out to come out and get a photo op. These elected officials, they get in the trenches and they do the job. So make sure November 3rd you get out there and exercise your right. These young people are being, some of them are just being, they just want to be young people. So they need some type of leadership, whether it's in the home, whether it's at the park district. We went to the park district after school every single day. That was an hour where my mom can just relax, prepare dinner, and we had dinner at the same time every day at 6 o'clock. Y'all remember that? Old school, y'all remember that? We got to bring it back. Jobs, merchandise jobs. Calvin Jarrett, B Manufacturing, has the only factory to sew and do merchandise. We gotta bring that back. They took it out to schools. They taking vocational services out to school. Carpentry, sewing. That's a $1 trillion business. We're gonna put sewing machines on every block. I need you to show your love as she comes to the microphone. She's hosting this event tonight. 40 years in the trenches. APAC, Austin's People Action Center. Put your hands together for the one and only Cynthia Williams.
Hey everybody, how you doing? I want to thank each and every one of you for coming to support us on this event. However, I wish this event didn't have to take place.
I wish we were at Columbus Park doing the Taste of Austin, or in one of the parks just having a grand festival. This is really not the occasion that my organization has been hosting anytime. But again, I want to thank each and every one of you for your support, especially my 15th District Police. I want to thank them for always supporting us in all of our activities over the 40 years that I've been in business. So I want to take the time to thank each and every one of them. They're out here to support me, us, and they've been working with us for years for the Taste of Austin. So I want to give them a round of applause. Again, as I stated, and most of you who know my organization, we provide basic human needs. We provide food, we have a WIC center, we provide an after-school program, we have a Teen Reach program, we provide programs for youth. Many of the youth you see out here serving the food or in black shirts are youth who have been hired to work in the community. We have over 250 positions available for youth in the community. And of course, because of COVID, it has raised some challenges for us. But I don't want to prolong it any longer. We've, in the past month, I'm going to say we've had to bury 5 families and hold a repast for those families right here. These are families that were not expecting to bury their loved ones. These are families who didn't have resources or insurance to bury their babies. I want to give you something to think about. How many of you in here have a 3-year-old? Can you imagine your 3-year-old baby being shot? Can you imagine? And I just have to put it out there. Because you know what? Somebody, and I just got to say it, because maybe this will make you stop, because this is real. Somebody killed this lady's 3-year-old baby. Do you hear me? And we had to bury that baby. We had to provide the resources to bury that baby. She didn't have no insurance. Who would have thought she needed insurance to bury her baby? A 3-year-old. And it makes me angry that that's what we have to do. She should be coming here for resources for her baby right now. She should be asking me for a job. Those are the kinds of things we want to help her with. But I must say, thanks to you all and a lot of you who supported us, we've raised over $20,000 to support these families, to relocate them to hopefully safe communities or just to get away. We paid for their burials. We paid for other expenses. And it just breaks my heart that I even have to say, here's a check for $10,000. This cannot replace her 3-year-old, her baby. We have to stop this killing. We know who's doing the killing. I'm certainly getting the calls. We know a lot of it is retaliation, or a lot of it is you're just shooting in the air. Not only did we lose a 3-year-old, a 13-year-old. Who in here have a 13-year-old? I can't imagine anything happening to my 13-year-old who's dancing with her mother, and she gets shot. Can you imagine that mother laying on me, crying her heart out? They shot her baby, his sister, 13 years old. You want to say something? 13 years old. And we're doing everything we can to support him. We have funds for him as well to support his relocation. We're going to support, even though we know this is blacks, killing blacks, because that's what it is, We're going to still support our black people. But we got to stop this killing. Little Natalie, 7 years old. Natalie, 7 years old. He can't stop crying, and I can't stop crying every time I look at him. Do you know I saw that baby being buried? I saw that baby. I held this father. We've cried for many days. Although I didn't help his family to relocate, we didn't help, a lot of you didn't help with resources to relocate him. His child was simply playing in front of her grandmother's house. He wasn't even around. He don't even live on the block that the baby got shot. And all I can do is raise money to bury these babies and beg and ask you all every day in the middle of the night. Y'all know I'm sending emails. I'm asking you all to, I'm not going to even close these funds. I'm going to continue to ask for support until the day that I die. Because unfortunately, this looked like the norm. Until each one of us come up with a solution to help stop the killing, you all going to be here again. The press, you're going to be right here. This is not a story I want you to come here to see what this agency are doing, or I want to be able to talk about all the good things that this organization does because of the elected officials in our community that support us. I want to be able to tell you about all the youth we've hired and all the good work that they do and how hard my staff work and how hard I've worked for 40 years to keep this organization doors open and how hard we've struggled. HSI, Westside Health Authority, all the community organizations that's here. We don't want to be here talking about burying any babies, but here we are, and here you all come again, and these three got to go home. I can't even sleep thinking about them. I see all of their faces every single night. This has been a very challenging time for my organization and for me and the employees that work here. And I know all of you all when I call you for support. When I tell you we need help burying these babies, when we need help relocating these families, we do. We got to continue to find ways to make it safe for all of us. We're all in this together. The COVID-19 pandemic is enough by itself. That's a struggle for our babies and our children and our youth to see. That's depressing enough to see all of us here walking around with masks on our face. But to see all the killing that's taking place in our community, it ain't the police, it is us, blacks killing blacks. So I don't want to hear that stuff about police brutality or any of that. This is blacks killing blacks. This is us, you all. That's what this event is about, us. Stop the killing of our babies, of our children. Yeah, we got a lot of other issues around the country. Yeah, we got the George Floyd issue as well. But right now, my concern is the killing of our black babies. So let's stop it. And I thank each and every one of you for coming out. And feel free to get food. We have plenty of food for you. And I want to thank all the elected officials for coming out, and Cook County Commissioner Tony Prewinkle for coming out and supporting us. And I want to thank each and every one of you in 15th District. Again, thank you all.
Now, let me say this. That's what Speak On It is about. And we're going to do more of that. We're going to bring things here to CAN TV that you might not see otherwise. Because things are so critical now until if it don't stop, Trump gonna need to come here and not just deal with the arrangement that he has with the mayor or whoever. He gonna have to do a little street sweeping with that truck that they showed us that he was using, had used in Portland. And he gonna just have to go throughout our communities and start washing these germs, these terrorists, down the sewer, back to their mama's belly. Because we are sick of the graves being dug for the germs that has been released upon the community. And what happened to the little 9-year-old in Cabrini? The community rose up and they told it on him and they caught him. That's what you got to do. That was a 39-year-old man, old enough to be that boy's granddaddy, still out in the street shooting at folk indiscriminately. Then hit the target, but killed the little boy. It's got to stop. And maybe they need to bring back capital punishment. You need to start killing these killers and let the public see it on social media. Let us see you. Criminal justice reform, it's got to be better than putting them in jail and locking them out before the body is stiff. So maybe you should let us see the result of true criminal justice. An eye for an eye, a life for a life, a head for a head. Because this makes no sense. And it ain't just happening in Chicago, y'all. You know it. It's happening all over the country. Children, little innocent children. And you talking about it's the gangs, it's the this, it's the gun. No, it's your system that don't have a consequence to stop it. But brother, let's move on because we're running out of time and we got to get out of here. And I know the next person coming in here, you know, they don't want me to be sitting up here on their time. So let's just move right along, brother.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We need to be 6 feet apart when we argue.
This is the closest.
Let's talk about marijuana and your brain. It's a rather complicated process, so let's start off with what's familiar to you. THC. THC is the chemical in weed that gets you high. You feel lightheaded, feel giddy, sometimes relaxed. Marijuana, you can smoke it, you can eat it in an extract of food, you can inhale it with a vapor pen, or consume it in an oil form. It's especially good for little kids who are taking it as a medicine. No matter the method, THC goes through your bloodstream and into your brain. And there, the THC is going to latch onto these special receptors. When they are stimulated, you release dopamine. It sends signals to various nerve cells all around your body and makes the user feel high. Not all cannabis is going to get you stoned. That's because marijuana contains another chemical known as CBD. That's cannabidiol. Marijuana plants that have low THC and high CBD can work really well as a medicine. They can treat things like epilepsy. It works because the CBD chemical can quiet excessive electrical and chemical activity in the brain. I know this 3-year-old girl who went from having 300 seizures a week to 2 per month after her parents gave her cannabis with high levels of CBD. When it comes to marijuana, there's some 500 different chemical compounds. All these compounds work together. It's something known as the entourage effect. It's important because you can't just take a chemical out of marijuana and make a medicine. You need the whole plant, especially when it comes to using pot instead of pills.
Now let me say this. You know, I wanted to throw that in because it's real.
Working from home?
Marijuana is not going anywhere, so the more you know about it, the better. It don't mean that I'm promoting it That ain't the issue. The issue is the more you know, hopefully, the better things will be for you and for society. Now we're finna look at another piece, and all it is a picture. But I want you to just imagine. Just imagine. Look at this picture. That means that her habit has clouded all her judgment. She's so caught up. She is so in need of the Westside Heron Opioid Task Force services and referrals. Okay, she might not be doing heroin, but she's doing something that makes it clear in front of her baby that she's got a substance dependency problem. And we need reduction recovery programs. And that's why I salute LaShawn Ford. If a person in your household, somebody you know that is this far gone or getting there, you need to contact the Westside Heron Opioid Task Force so they can get you some help. All right, brother, let's go to the next piece so we can move right on out of here.
Yes, he has been hospitalized here, remains here in fair condition now after being shot in both legs. Now, we're told that the third grader loves basketball and dancing and gets great grades. His mother, who is just horrified by the violence, now the violence that has touched her family, shared her story with me.
He keeps saying, "Mama, why did they do this to me?"
There's a rush of emotion as this woman describes seeing her 8-year-old son get shot in front of her after gunfire erupts during a drive-by shooting.
And he was saying, "Mama, I've been shot. I've been shot." And he was holding both his legs, trying to get to me.
The Chicago woman is too afraid to be on camera. She doesn't want her or her son's name used for fear of retaliation, as she shares details of the frightening Wednesday night ordeal. The mother says it happened just after 10 p.m. in the 700 block of South Karloff Avenue on the city's west side. She was sitting in her car looking at her phone while her son talked and played around with his father and 2 other adults on the sidewalk. While investigators say someone in a black SUV fired shots at the group, the woman says the gunman was shooting at another man going to his car.
And 4 barrels, 2 came out the front and 2 came out the back of this truck, and they just started shooting.
The 8-year-old was one of 2 children shot last night within a half hour of each other. In total, police say 15 people were shot on Wednesday.
You see it on the news, but it hits you different when it's actually your loved one.
He even participated in a community program sponsored by Andre Williams, not-for-profit, I Will Foundation Chicago.
This is all of our problem. Our futures is being taken away from us without even having a chance to live in a purpose.
But for this Chicago mother, there is fear and anger as she pleads for the violence to stop.
It's sad. They need to stop. They need to really stop, because think about it, if it's your child or one of your family members.
Now, his mother says that doctors are continuing to do tests, but they're still concerned, particularly about that left knee where he took a direct hit. They're not sure if he'll need surgery or what his recuperation time will be, but they are happy that he appears to be improving day by day. As for those other individuals who were also shot, they were transported to area hospitals. At this hour, police have no one in custody and questioning no suspects.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that. We're going to go to the next one. I mean, it speaks for itself. Enough is enough, but we keep saying that. We need the government to do what they're supposed to do in a situation like this.
When you look at the overall numbers, they're actually deceiving, and that is because Violent crime is actually down by about a third on the near north side compared to the same time last year. But of course, up until a couple of months ago, there was almost nobody in the downtown area. That has all changed in the last several weeks. Whether on foot, horseback, or on patrol, a large contingent of police officers made their presence known in the Gold Coast today, trying to allay the fears of a neighborhood still shaken up following a brazen daytime shooting that left one man dead and two of his companions injured in Chicago's most upscale shopping district.
This was an individual who fancies himself as a rapper, but is also a member of a gang.
Identified as 26-year-old Carlton Weekly, but more commonly known by the name FBG Duck, the rapper was gunned down on Oak Street Tuesday, just west of Michigan Avenue, by four men who police say jumped out of two separate vehicles and started shooting.
I was sitting in my condo and I thought it was a bomb.
The area has seen a large uptick in violence recently. Between July 1st and the 28th, there were 160 violent crimes on Chicago's near north side. That is up 52% compared to the month of June alone. That encompasses the Gold Coast, Streeterville, River North, and Old Town. A Gold Coast resident for 7 years, Joyce Bowen, tells us she and her husband have had enough. They're moving out.
You used to be able to just walk the neighborhood freely and not always have to kind of watch behind your shoulder. But now you're constantly walking and looking around at your surroundings.
That is not what downtown advocates want to hear. The pandemic has hit businesses hard. What they need is more people coming in, not fewer.
Trying to bring people downtown, bring people to any district in a time of a world pandemic is tough, and then trying to bring people downtown when they don't feel safe from a security perspective is really a double whammy.
Coincidentally, members of the Magnificent Mile Association were meeting with both the mayor and Superintendent Brown around the time of the shooting yesterday. They tell us they've been promised additional resources which they hope will help act as a deterrent and bring down this current wave of violent crime in the area.
Now let me say this. You know, back in the day, they had beat cops walking the beat. Now we see that just happened and they got beat cops walking the beat, riding horses, on bikes, on bicycles. Where's the beat cops? In the colony, huh? You see how quick they got resources there? And I ain't hating. Crime is up, down in that area, 52% in a month. That's got to do with leadership, y'all. I don't want to hear it. I don't. Crime is out of control. And you tell me you got all of you elitists in Chicago thinking you got all of the knowledge. Well, but they got them cops down there real quick, didn't they? On horseback, walking with dogs. But in the Negro community, what do? They go to the alderman's or the congressman's office, eat popcorn and chill. And when they ain't doing that, they say, well, we ain't gonna work, we ain't gonna be bothered. They scared, we gonna beat them, we gonna kill them, so we gonna just let them kill each other, mutual combatants. That's the mentality. I'm just saying. We can see it. We just saw it. That boy went down there with his foolishness, videoing himself, got himself killed. The first thing she do is the gains, is to this. No, lady, that ain't it. It's that you all ain't doing your work. The police are not visible enough in these areas. And then when something happened, then you want to make like they there. But hell, we've been going through this. You just saw what the people were saying on the west side. Let's get to the next one, brother. We got about 6 minutes. This is a clever piece here. I want you to just look at this, you know? These folks is creative. You see how they getting that marijuana and that other dope here? Watermelon truck. I wonder where that truck come from. See what I'm saying? All type of ways to do it. Just want you to see how clever they can be. Now, I don't even know why they even wasting the time on your legal, because the whole truck, I guess, is full of watermelons, and the watermelons got the marijuana and the other dope in it, so there it is. But now that it's so legal, I mean, marijuana, hell, what the hell? They didn't have to go out through all that for marijuana. Look at all them watermelons with the dope in them. That's what's happening. Trump, make America great again? When I was a boy, I was in the watermelon patch. We didn't put no dope in watermelons. Hell, we just out there filling them trucks and shipping them watermelons. But now they filling them with dope. Now, yeah, let's look at this little boy. 14-year-old little boy. But I'm saying he look like he's about 13 or 14. And he over there stunned, shooting up in the community, get through showing out, turn around, hit the ground,
Party,
and bleed out.
party.
I don't know what this is here, but we can bypass that. My point is, another child,
You know what I'm saying?
right down the street from where I live,
Since day one.
right behind the post office,
Host the open mic.
not a post office, a firehouse, right behind a library, right by a school, down there shooting up the spot, and got took out. And wasn't nothing but a baby. Look at him. Just a little boy out there showing out. But they used to showing out. They just do what they want to do. You say, well, how they get the guns? Well, I ain't gonna get into that. That's a whole nother story. All right, brother, let's look at this other piece that happened last year. We're gonna bypass the dope piece as it relates to that. We'll do that next week on the opioid. But let's look at this little piece. I just want to say a little something about this. Last year, one of the gang so-called leaders got killed. And now they're saying it probably had something to do with the Mexican Gulf cartel, drug piece, FBI saying all that. A lot of stuff happening. And it ain't just about what we see. But now that Trump has beefed up some support after the mayor, this mayor and Rahm Emanuel resisted, maybe they'll get to some of this, but this happened long before this. This happened last year. So, you know, a lot of things happening. You saw the watermelons. I mean, a whole lot of folk. You see people coming into the neighborhood and you wonder, how can they buy this? How can they buy up the whole block? How can they do that? The watermelon truck. How can they do this? Because the people's out there serving, those people getting their drugs. Trump say you need to close the border. You say, oh, he's a racist. I don't know what he is, but I do know this. Those of you that look in the mirror, that live in neighborhoods like I do, we need to get on top of this. But the black man can't go out there and call himself patrolling and protecting the community. Because the police will move on us, but they won't move on them. Who is them? Those are the ones that got the guns, but who they working for? That's all. So, you had a little drug message here, but you had more of a spin on the violence. Why? Because we had two parents. An 8-year-old boy got shot all in the legs. He'll be crippled for the rest of his life. Another little boy, poor thing, he dead. Those mothers crying. And all we do is hear these dang elected officials blame the gun, blow smoke, hot air. But can't come up with how to have public safety. Something wrong with that. Making excuses. It's the pandemic. Something wrong with that. You need public safety with or without a pandemic. You need quality of life with or without a pandemic. But that's what happens when a community becomes a colony. And because certain areas in the city has been neglected so long, until now the norm is becoming little bitty children getting killed. Oh yeah, they cry for a minute. You know what I'm saying? For a minute. But that don't stop it. Don't stop it. And that's part of the problem. You got all of these people that don't live in the neighborhood policing the neighborhood. And you got all these people that live in the neighborhood that you won't allow to be the police because their mama or their grandmama might have used their social security number when they was a kid in order to pay some bills. So now the grown folks got bad credit. So you use that to eliminate them. But now you got all these other people with full body tattoos on, with spider webs and rebel flags, and you got them running around half naked, policing our community. Do you really think our community gonna be safe? And then you can order online full bodysuits that can make you be a white supremacist and look like a black man or woman. You see? So a whole lot is happening that if the politicians would stop playing and get serious about saving lives, things could change. Maybe LaShawn Ford need to be preparing to run for mayor again. That's what he need to do. Maybe it won't be so many people running next time. Maybe he need to just keep working like he's working now and get ready to run for mayor. Because obviously, if you all wouldn't have been so sorry during the last election, and so many of you all running, we might have a different situation here. But until next week, I'm out.